next speaker comes to us from Maui, Hawaii. Wouldn't it be nice for us all to have gone to his meeting? That would have been great. The Honorable Riki Hokama is your NACO president and member of the Maui County Council. Riki was elected president on July 14th at the NACO annual conference. He has been active in NACO since 2001 as a member of the Board of Directors, Financial Services Corporation Board of Directors, and the Election Reform Task Force in the Finance Committee. Hokama was first elected to public office in 1978 as a delegate to the Hawaii State Constitutional Convention. Later, he was elected to serve on the Maui County Council from 1999 to 2009, and again in 2011. Raised on the island of Lanai, President Hokama graduated from the University of Hawaii with a Bachelor of Arts degree in sociology. Riki enjoys spending time with his family, traveling, golfing, and singing karaoke. Please welcome the Honorable Riki Hokama.
Good morning and aloha. Aloha. I am very much aware of your time requirements, especially with the people from your legislature. So let me quickly adjust my 30-minute speech to 6 minutes, and I will forego some of the videos that we had prepared for you that we had hoped that we would be able to share. But we are able to balance, we'll adjust, because I think it's very important for you to have those discussions with your state legislators, as we do also in Hawaii. So let me quickly first say that I am thoroughly honored to be with you this morning. As I told Harrison and Jim, I wanted to be here with you. This is a great Commonwealth. For me, this is America's history. You are part of history. I look at your parade of flags from the 1600s on. It is part of America. You are our history, and I'm honored to be with you this morning. And so just quickly, so you understand where I'm coming from, I come from a very small rural part of a rural county called Maui. My community of Lanai is 3,000 people. Our claim to fame was Jim Dole and the beginning of Dole pineapple, and how America came to know what is pineapple. And I wear that symbol a lot on my lapel. I don't have it this morning, but a pineapple is the international symbol of hospitality. And that is how Hawaii has been associated with that fruit for hundreds of years. But from the national level, I can tell you, people, looking up and seeing you this morning, I would also reinforce the idea that your former speakers gave. Public service, as my father had taught me, my late father, is still a very, very honorable profession. To give to your neighbors, your community, public service is something that I find very inspiring, fulfilling. I came from corporate Hawaii. Okay? I had corporate car, corporate house, expensive life. Life was great. But it never fulfilled me to this calling, as the previous speaker mentioned, about giving service back to my community. And so I can tell you today, my life is much more rewarding and much more fulfilling, knowing that I had a small part with my colleagues on our council to make our community better. And I believe it is such a truth for you and yourselves in your communities also. NACO, like VACo, if you look around, it's you. You are NACO. You are its membership, you are its shareholders, and you are what makes your national organization successful. And so from Virginia, I just want to quickly recognize the few members that have given outstanding service representing your great Commonwealth. And that would be, of course, Harrison Moody from Dade Moody, your current president. He also has graciously agreed to serve on the national level as our chair of our Agricultural Steering Committee. Jerry Highland from Fairfax County, Greg Castano from Arlington, and of course, your own General Counsel, Phyllis Errico, serves with us on the board of directors. And I would be remiss if I didn't also share a quick comment of how important Jim Campbell, who is your state executive officer, is a contributor and a great asset to NACO, as well as also to his peers of the State Association of State Directors. He plays a critical role. Now quickly, as it relates to Virginia, let me just quickly go through my notes. One of the things that we believe is important for you from a national standpoint is, of course, our campaign to fight the proposed Waters of the U.S. rule, which is an EPA proposal, which would be, in our point of view, a major intrusion in local land use authority, and we see it as a federal overreach. This proposed rule would expand the federal jurisdiction by the Environmental Protection Agency and the Army Corps of Engineers, which oversees county roads like ditches, flood controls, dry washes, and stormwater systems. While all counties across America support clean water and strong local environmental controls, but we, as county people, in consultation with your county engineers and administrators, is that we don't support further bureaucracy and the potential to be engaged in further litigation or lawsuits. The comment period for the Waters of the U.S. has been extended to November 14th, and I'm here this morning to please ask you to consider putting in your thoughts and to speak out against this proposed rule, which we believe would cause delays and raise the cost of your county's capital improvement projects. On our NACO website, we do have additional information. I would ask if you would please consider using our county research department that Matt Chase, our executive director, has thoroughly beefed up, and we are now at cutting edge so that any county in Virginia can just put a button on your laptop or your digital device, and Virginia will come up. You can, again, put at your county, and you will have the information that you have shared with us as it relates to various topics of national impact to you. We also continue to fight, and for Virginia, this is in the area of payment in lieu of taxes or PILT money, and the secure rural school programs, in which are top priorities for counties like yourselves and across the country. And we are currently urging Congress to please support a long-term sustainable solution. Now, with more than a month into the new fiscal federal year, federal programs are still operating on a short-term continuing resolution. And under this continuing resolution, Congress did not provide a new round of funding for PILT programs and the secured rural school programs. Therefore, my fellow colleagues, we have a pressing need to secure full-year funding for PILT and SRS during this lame duck session, when Congress and the President must finalize bills for the fiscal year 2015. We understand that 60 counties in Virginia received $3.6 million in revenue from the PILT program this year. So we understand this is a very important issue for Virginia counties. At the national level, your organization is also vigorously advocating for the Marketplace and Internet Tax Freedom Act, a bill that was introduced in July that combines two key issues for NACO. First, it includes the Marketplace Fairness Act, or MFA, as passed by your U.S. Senate in 2013. The Marketplace Fairness is a long-standing priority for NACO that simply allows state and local governments, again I say local governments, to enforce existing state sale taxes on remote sales. Secondly, the bill provides for a 10-year extension of this act. While we have opposed any efforts since this act was first enacted in 1998 to permanently extend the moratorium that the current law imposes on state and local governments regarding internet access taxes, this moratorium will expire December 11 of this year. And while we would prefer for this to simply expire, a temporary extension currently seems to be the most favorable for us at this point, as all other bills seek to permanently preempt the local tax authority on this internet access services. Now, it is my understanding that this act is very important to your counties in this Commonwealth because of your legislation that links new revenue from it to the state's transportation funding. So if this Marketplace Fairness Act passes Congress, Virginia will dedicate most of the new revenue to transportation infrastructure and investments. And if it doesn't pass Congress, your counties and your Commonwealth will need to figure out another alternative revenue source. While this battle on this act has been going on for 10 years, this is the closest that we have been to getting legislation passed due to the now an overwhelming bipartisan effort in the Senate. While this goal is in sight, if we don't get a bill passed and signed into law this year, we will have to start the process again next year. So now is the time for all of us to band together and take action. And I am here to ask you to please ask your federal delegation to support this act. Now, one of the key issues for the future, and I'll quickly summarize it, is of course the reauthorization of the Surface Transportation Act, or more commonly known as MAP 21. And of course, the key component to that is fixing the Federal Highway Trust Fund. In August, the United States Senate approved the United States House of Representatives version of legislation that keeps the Highway Trust Fund solvent and extends this funding through May of next year. This legislation provides $11 billion in funding for the trust at current levels for the next 10 months. And as most of you know, it is difficult to plan a CIP program in months. We tend to forecast in years. This is also part of my presidential initiative as your national president. And for me, this is about keeping America strong, helping Virginia's counties move forward with domestic economic recovery. It is about a discussion that we need to also talk about, which is food security for this country and the ability of your residents to travel safely within the counties of Virginia and throughout the rest of the country. But most importantly of all people, it is also about our country's 21st century national defense. The ability to be mobile and effective, to move even within the country's borders. Ability to fight what we need to fight. I've had the privilege of being at the Homeland Security's Operational Center. While there are definitely external threats, I will tell you, there is also domestic threats we need to be aware of. And while your great Commonwealth has been the front lines for us in national defense regarding issues from Europe and the Middle East, your sister counties in Alaska and Hawaii, because this is part of the 21st century of the Pacific, we are your current front lines. And so I would ask you to please consider being a part of this initiative. Fortunately, our first symposium will be in my home county, in Maui, December 3 to 6. And if you're interested in discussing about how we're going to move transportation forward for this country, I would ask you to consider looking at the NACO website. I would invite you to please participate. We're the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. Hopefully we'll have the Deputy Secretary of the Department of Commerce also with us, key military officials, to show you that Hawaii plays a critical part in this country's defense, and by working together, we'll all prosper together. So I thank you for your time this morning, and I'll turn it over to Mr. Chase. Okay, we're not going to go to Mr. Well, we'll be here. We are happy to engage with you. We are happy to answer any questions. I ask you again, thank you very much for your membership in NACO, and God bless to all of you. Mahalo.